it's me. Okay, so super excited about this post today. I get to talk to you about my all-time favorite kind of investment that I hold in my portfolio, the ETF. Also stands for Exchange Traded Fund. So basically what an ETF is that it's a collection of different stocks and or bonds or even other ETFs that all they do is track and mirror a different index or a different commodity or a different currency or a different region of the world, and they're not actively managed by anybody. So think about ETFs being passively managed. So remember, in one of my last posts, we talked about mutual funds that were actively managed by somebody. ETFs are not managed by anybody. And all they do is they just track and mirror whatever the investments in that ETF are doing. So the really cool thing with ETFs is that they are extremely diversified, and there are thousands of different ETFs that you can actually hold in your portfolio from around the world. So I love index ETFs, and all they really do is they track and mirror an index, right? So a certain benchmark. So for example, like the S&P 500. What we can see here, this is an ETF. Maybe you've heard about this one before. The ticker is VFV. And all this ETF is doing is it is just tracking and mirroring what the top 500 companies on the S&P 500 in the US are doing. Nobody's actively buying and selling them. Nobody's day trading. Nobody's doing anything. It's just mirroring and mimicking whatever the markets are doing. So you can purchase ETFs within your TFSA or your RSP or your RESP. You can do this self-directed. This is what robo-advisors use when they put your portfolio together. They always use exchange-traded funds. The really cool thing about ETFs is because there's nobody managing them, you end up saving a whack load in fees. So you can see here, VFV, for example, is 0.09%. If you take a look at one of the other mutual fund posts that I did, the MER on that equity fund, I think was like 1.98%. So not only with ETFs are you not losing money to the fees that you're paying, but because there's also no human error happening, you end up keeping more money in your pocket, which is what we want to do. So this is the way that I invest. I love index ETFs. I have an index ETF that tracks the US economy, one that tracks the Canadian economy, one that tracks the international markets, one that also tracks the emerging markets. And because I'm a super aggressive investor, because I want to retire at 45 and I understand the risk involved, I don't have any bond ETFs in my portfolio. So that's what an ETF is. That's your post of the day. And I would suggest that if you don't have ETFs in your portfolio, then you should think about putting some in there because they're great. Okay, thanks, bye.